Tragedy in Chatham. A family still searching for answers. It's been almost 5 months since a vehicle crashed into the side of the YNOT outdoors building, and the families are no closer to finding answers. The crash happened April 28th. Police say Marianne Akers. Vehicle left the road, went through a field, and hit the building. 4 children died that day. 18-year-old Riley Britton, 8-year-olds Ainsley Johnson and Alma Bunnerkempe, and 7-year-old Catherine Corley. A 5th child, 8-year-old Bradley Lund, died a month later. 5 other children were injured. Tonight, Riley's family is begging officials for answers about the status of the investigation. News Channel 20's Stacey Skryzak sat down with Riley's parents. She joins us live now from the YNOT building in Chatham.
Well, Dawn, in the days and weeks following that tragic crash, a makeshift memorial was here at the YNOT building behind me. There were flowers and teddy bears for the victims in honor of them. And since then, they have planted 4 or 5 different trees in honor of the victims. Now, the oldest victim is Riley Britton. She was 18 years old and was a counselor at the after-school program. She was just weeks away from high school graduation, ready to head off to the University of Iowa with dreams of becoming a teacher. I sat down with Riley's parents, who say they're still waiting for the final results of that investigation. While life returned back to normal for so many people, for the victims and their families, life will never be the same.
I'm a school teacher in the community. I'm still watching the effects that this has had on the children. I had students that watched my daughter die, saw with their own eyes. I work with students that still have trauma from that day, that are still scared.
Say the lack of communication from investigators is making it hard to get closure, and say not enough is being done to bring justice to all of the victims. Now coming up tonight and at 6, Christine and Zach Britton share memories of their beloved daughter Riley and the legacy that she leaves behind here in the Chatham community. Plus our efforts to find out the status of the driver in the investigation, plus when this investigation will ever be over. Reporting live in Chatham, I'm Stacey Skryzak. To you, Dawn.
Thanks, Stacey. Authorities briefly handcuffed Marianne Akers at the scene, but she hasn't been charged. She was taken to the hospital after the crash for observation. According to ISP, preliminary toxicology reports determined she wasn't under the influence of alcohol or drugs at the time of the crash. According to Akers' lawyer, the 44-year-old suffered a seizure at the time of the crash. Tragedy. Chatham. Families still searching for answers. It's been almost 5 months since a vehicle crashed into the side of the YNOT outdoors building, and the families are no closer to finding answers. The crash happened April 28th. Police say Marianne Akers' vehicle left the road, went through a field, and hit the building. 4 children died that day. 18-year-old Riley Britton, 8-year-olds Ainsley Johnson and Alma Bunnerkempe, and 7-year-old Catherine Corley. A 5th child, 8-year-old Bradley Lund, died a month later. 5 other children were injured. Tonight, Riley's family is begging officials for answers about the status of the investigation. News Channel 20's Stacey Skryzak sat down with Riley's parents, and she joins us now live from the YNOT building in Chatham. Stacey?
Dawn, we are live out here outside of YNOT after-school program building, where in the days and weeks following the crash, there were makeshift memorials and there were those Chatham Strong signs that you could see throughout the community. But now, months later, the parents of Riley Britton still are waiting for answers as to why this crash happened in the first place.
So Riley wanted to be a school teacher. From the time she was just a little girl, she just absolutely enjoyed children.
Riley Britton was well on her way to achieving that dream. She became a student intern with Chatham Elementary, the same school where her mother teaches.
Turned around and she looked at me and she said, "Mom, we're doing it." And I said, "We're doing what?" She said, "We're teaching together." And she grabbed my arm. And I just bawled.
Riley would intern in the afternoons, then head over to YNOT, working as a counselor at the after-school program.
She'd come home after work, just energized, and tell us all these fun little stories about what the kids did and the funny things they'd say.
On April 28th, like every other school day, Christine said goodbye as Riley left, on her way to YNOT.
And she bebopped down the hallway and she waved at me like she always did, but I had no idea that that was going to be the last time I saw her. I had no idea. And I wish that if I had known that, I would have hugged her and told her how much I loved her.
Just 1 hour later, a car crashed through the facility. Christine and Zach rushed to the scene, but were turned away by law enforcement and were sent to the reunification site at a nearby church.
You know, the most frustrating part was the lack of communication and not knowing where the kids were, what kids were affected.
As the public learned details about the crash, the Brittons and other victims' families were left in the dark.
And they did a press conference at 5 o'clock for all of the community to let them know that there were deaths and how old they were. And I had still not even told them my daughter was gone.
Now, nearly 5 months later, Zach and Christine say there's been little communication.
And I want to know what happened to my daughter. And I don't know any more today than I knew April the 29th, the day after.
Illinois State Police said initial preliminary toxicology reports on the driver came back negative for alcohol and controlled substances. In an interview just days after the crash, the driver's attorney told News Channel 20 his client had a seizure on her way home from work.
There's not been one officer or investigator that has sat me down or him and told us that. So the community has in their mind that it was a medical emergency and it's over, and that has not been what we have been told.
As the investigation continues, Zach and Christine are left waiting for answers, holding on to the memories of their daughter and the legacy she leaves behind.
Stories that people share about their experiences with Riley and how she affected them and the role that she played in their lives. They're so important and so comforting.
When the Brittons contacted me, they were very concerned about the driver, Marianne Akers, possibly getting her driver's license back. Now, they did reach out to the Secretary of State's office and learned that Akers' driver's license is currently canceled. However, if it was a medical condition that led to the crash, she could get her license back in as few as 6 months. Now, that would be the end of October. I did reach out to Akers' attorney to ask about the status and an update on her license. He said he has no further comment at this time. Reporting live in Chatham, I'm Stacey Skryzak. Back to you.
Thanks, Stacey. We reached out for an update on the YNOT crash investigation. Sangamon County State's Attorney John Milheiser tells us, quote, "My heart breaks for the families involved in this unimaginable tragedy. We continue to work with Illinois State Police to ensure a thorough and complete investigation," end quote.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from News Channel 20.